Hello everybody at Cymatic TV. This is like an energy check-in on the energy update that I did earlier on the past weekend about this X-flare, about these energies that were coming through towards the Earth. And I thought it'd be quite good to go through my experience of the energies over the past 5 days, going back from around about the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, about that, the 10th, 11th, 12th, 14th, basically. And then I went on this sort of, there's two major lessons I learned actually, and one is to do with the astroflower readings that I did on the tarot readings that I did on the astroflower for Capricorn, and there was a big lesson according to that, and we're going to go into that. And I ended up on top of the mountains with my son and on Wednesday, and it was amazing, and that was the second lesson. So we're just going to go into that and see how that corresponds to the vibration of the sun and the vibration of the earth as it came through.
Don't believe, just know. Cymatic TV, turning vibration into reality.
In the energy update that I did last week, there was like 3 eruptions that sort of accumulated into one. And I was told by a subscriber, thankfully, it's called a cannon eruption. I never knew that. Fantastic. Thank you very much for informing me. It's every day's a school day, and we always, if you never stop learning, you might as well just stop. So I love learning, and I'm always learning, and so yeah, it's called a cannon. And that was coming through. It was going to hit Earth approximately between the 12th and 13th. During that period there, between the 12th and the 13th in GMT time, or UTC time. And then there was this big void afterwards. And you can see it here on the Enral spiral. And this void came in, and this was a real learning curve for me. I learned quite a few things, not just about the cannon eruption, but also about energy. So on Sunday the 11th, I had we had the approaching of the impact, as it were. It wasn't a major impact at all, it's got to be said, and it's not the most important thing, but it does change the vibration of the earth. It changes it at the moment of reaction, the moment of interaction with the earth, and then a post-reaction where it's the center of the earth rebounds that action out. And this is why it's called Cymatic TV, because it is converting reality, vibration into reality. That's what these vibrations do. So on the Sunday, I'm doing a lot of stuff, being quite busy and stuff like that. And I've been busy for the past sort of like 3 or 4 days. And, I've been very active. And you could feel the energy picking up. And on Monday, the 12th, I said to myself, I've been working hard, I'll take a day off. I'll just relax, won't do much. Energy wasn't up for that. Energy sort of turned around to me and sort of said, you're joking me. You guys get a day off? And I was kind of going, yeah, I've been working hard, and I just felt like doing nothing. And energy sort of kind of going, no, it's just starting to pick up a level, pick up another gear. And I was just kind of sort of saying, it'd be nice just to relax. And energy just went, I can't believe this, and continued on its path. Now, that's the first moment I started getting slightly out of sync with energy. So that wasn't good. And it'd been really good with energy in the past few days before then, as I said. And there was a good conversation going on between me and the energy, and it was really good to get back into that flow. It's a beautiful sensation. And on the Monday, it was almost as if the energy said, well, I'm not going to wait around, I've got to go. And I just kind of went, okay. And then I wanted to work on Tuesday, the 13th. And I started working on Tuesday. No, on Monday. So an energy sort of said, yeah, I want to go. But on that Monday, me, myself and I, it was not good. By the end of the day, I felt disappointed with myself. There's a degree of disappointment that I hadn't done something, I hadn't been very concrete or stuff like that. And there had been also a degree of sort of disappointment that I'd let myself slip a little bit out of the sync with energy. So I decided to make that up on Tuesday, the 13th. And as you can well see from the endless spiral, that's the moment that the void that I was talking about in the energy update, which obviously I had forgotten. It's not easy. We all try. And I've forgotten that part of it until I started to try and do some work. So I started to try and do some work, some videos and etc. And the energy was kind of going, what are you doing? You're standing when you should be sitting, and you're sitting when you should be standing. Tom, get with the program. Get with the energy. But I muddled through because I had to. That was my work I had to do on myself. And it brought me back up to that space where I was back into line with energy. And by the end of the day, my son called me, and this is where we come into the astro flower as well. My son called me, and I'm a Capricorn, so on the Capricorn reading of the astro flower, I said on the reading, if you get opportunities in this coming week here, the week we're living here, on the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, if you do get offers of socializing, accept them. Don't accept everything, but accept them. So when my son sort of said it'd be good to go walking up the mountains, and he said it the other, he phoned me up and said, okay, so when are we going? We're going on, okay, let's go on Wednesday. And it was sort of like, I'd accepted it, and I'd realised that by Tuesday, kind of going, oh, I'm going up the mountains. Oh, I'm now realising the joy I've created for myself, or my son has helped to create, because sharing in joy is that magical ingredient. And once we start sharing, that's when all our joys come alive. So I spent Tuesday working hard, getting myself back into the flow of energy, which I should have been taking it easy. In theory, I should have been working on Monday and doing it on and relaxing on the Tuesday, but I didn't. So it was hard work. And then on the Wednesday, I went up the mountains, and that's where we got a message from the energy of the mountains, and we also did a dowsing on the ley line, and got a message from the ley line, which you will see at the end. And I went up the mountain with my son. My son's 20, amazing kid. I say kid, he's not a kid, he's a young man, of course. I've got another son who's slightly older and another daughter that's slightly younger. And he's very spiritually inclined, and he has religious practices, which I have total respect for. And we went walking up the mountain. And every step along the way was like a unveiling of a book or a psalm or a lesson that I was learning with every step. And it was absolutely beautiful. When I first started the journey, it was hard, it was steep going up the mountain. I got out of breath. I'm not the spring chicken I used to be. And I was wearing shoes. And we continued on our walk, and we talked all the way, and we reminisced about things, and then we philosophized about other things. And he's an amazing man to philosophise with. I absolutely do it. In fact, I enjoy philosophising with all my kids because they're all pretty good philosophers. So, you know, I do enjoy that. So we philosophised all the way. And we found ourselves to this most beautiful prairie up the mountains with a little cabin on there and water. And so we spent some time. Cody came with us, so we were lovely walking. And he asked me if we wanted to pray together. And I said, yeah, I'd love that. So, you know, using his religious practices, I prayed with him. And that was fantastic. It was almost as if like, and the message I got from the prayer, I will say, will be the Virgin Mary. And that ties into Lourdes, all of those sort of things that we did. Now I had a little conversation with Mary, and that conversation is still going on. And I'm going to enjoy getting to the root of certain questions in my life. But it made me understand that actually over the past sort of like 4 or 5 years, I've come a long way from who I was. And to pray, my son suggested we took off our shoes. So I said, okay. And normally I walk barefoot everywhere. And like, I took my shoes off and I rediscovered how I used to be 10 years ago. It was fantastic. It was the most beautiful experience. And I ended up doing all the walking down the mountain afterwards. I didn't put my shoes back on then. I went back to my old way of being, where walking continually bare feet. Because normally I walk bare feet everywhere. It's absolutely lovely. Best way of being, I'll tell you. Save yourself on a pair of shoes every year. Just think about it, you know. It's not 150 euros, $150 that you save yourself a year. It's better than, you know. It's great. And I learned this idea that if you want to be in favour with things, if you really want to manifest things in your life, if you really want to use that energy in order to create something that is really mind-blowing for you and as a life and an experience, there's no days off. It's being in tune, it's being in awareness, in a state of awareness, and it's very relaxing. And we was philosophizing with my son, and my son said, discovering the idea of God has brought him a lot of peace, and I can understand that totally, and I totally agree with him. And it was absolutely amazing. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. A real privileged experience. And it helped me to understand, to sort of like, being back in alignment with energy is like being back in alignment with God, you know what I mean? Regardless of your religious proclivities. It was so peaceful. And eventually, after this beautiful walk, which we all enjoyed, we got a message from the mountains. And here's that beautiful message for you. We're at the mountains, as you can well see. It was good. A day when I walked the mountains in my bare feet. It's like getting back to oneself. Finding out about who we truly are. Just had a lovely meditation up in the mountains just behind me there. It's been absolutely brilliant. But I thought I'd get a message from the mountains that are all around me here. Absolutely beautiful place. So let's just connect with the earth. I can understand why the crown chakra is in Mount Kailash in Tibet. When you're up the mountains, it does float into your crown chakra a lot more. I can hear the bustle of the town below. And there it is. Connecting. Just listening to what this area is saying. And it says everything should be or is as it should be. Don't try and be something you're not. A mountain does not wish to be the beach. I'm sure the beach does not wish to be the mountain. Satisfaction of who we are is a way of tempering desire, tempering the ego. Peace be with you. Now the sun has quietened down a lot since, and it's still going to keep being very active, I think, and through till about October this year. And then I think, well, we're getting another sort of slight peak at the moment, but I think by the end of summer, beginning in the northern hemisphere, end of summer, beginning of autumn in the northern hemisphere, end of winter, beginning of spring in the southern hemisphere, I think that's when the sun's going to tail off. And the earth is going through a pole shift, and the energies have been really changing. And this past sort of week, even past sort of couple of months, because I was talking about the energy dropping out on past energy updates, and it hasn't been dropping out at all, which you can see on the X-ray flux here. It doesn't drop right to the floor anymore. It was doing that before. And it brought the alignment of the energies back into a normal sense. It's almost like gave us time off. It's like that time off, proper time off from the having to push energy through. And it really started making it come back to some sort of normal frequency. So I come down the mountains, and I wanted to see what was going on with the lines. I was supposed to be doing a dowsing energy update by a church. I will be doing that next week now, simply because I had the opportunity to go up the mountains. But I did manage to get sort of chakra sequencing and a message from the earth when we went through a thermal bath town. And you'll see the thermal bath and etc. And this is the message from the earth and the chakra sequencing. So I'm directly on a little line here, as you can see with my surround here. you can see I'm at a thermal baths, and it's pretty much abandoned. In fact, you can buy it for €1, but you have to invest at least €1,000,000. I don't have quite that money yet. So I'm on the line here, and I need to get some sort of, I want to just get a chakra sequencing off the line, and also a message from the earth. Okay, there we go, we're into the energy there. There is the 0.0. And it goes to crown and root to start with, which is very natural. And it goes to throat and sacrum and third eye, solar plexus, and heart. And then the throat, then the crown and the root. Back to the beginning. The reason I'm smiling is because that is the natural sequencing for human vibration. It's a repeated thing. But there was a thing about the heart. And it was like, it was under stress. I'm almost getting like it's freeing itself. It's almost like, you know, when you go out walking with your dogs, and you tell your dog that you're going out walking, and all of a sudden they get all excited, but they're not out the door yet. And they're sort of like scratching at the door as if to say, come on, let's go. It feels a little bit like that. But there's also a question of duress, a question of restriction upon it. But it's very much in line, and that's probably the vibrations that are coming off of the sun that have retuned the earth at the moment. Let's just get a message from the earth. So I'm just connecting now, going off to the crossing point, and into the earth we go. I rest myself on the center of the earth. Stand. Be counted. Stay true to who you are. Celebrate in everything that is almost godlike. And that's that beauty of the world and the universe, I think. It's almost like it's preparing me for like your first day at school, getting your uniform on and stuff like that. It's like, gotta look your best. Gotta stand up straight in front of life. Let's just come back here, into there, from the crossing point, into the body. Beautiful. Life should be fun. I know it's sometimes difficult. But through that difficulty, you will find your joy, your happiness, your success, sensation of being at one with yourself. This is what I mean. The chakra sequencing had gone back to the most natural human sequencing that there could be. It's like crown and root, third eye, throat chakra, sacrum, heart and solar plexus, crown and root, back to the beginning. That's the natural, normal sequencing to a human energy vibration. It's like it sort of goes in from itself and then goes out, and that's how it does. It's like breathing, like the Kundalini, as it were, breathing through you. And I think the message from the mountain mirrors the message from the earth. But at the same time, it's like it was much more solid in the mountains, as if like the mountains are like it's a very old oak tree that's not going to be moving and got a lot of wisdom and stuff like that. And the earth was a little bit more sort of like a river dancing a bit more. But it was beautiful energies all the same. So this is a good way to look at energies, to see what has happened in the past, and you can see according to you. You can also see this in a way of physical sense, in the way of your cardio, the way of your muscles, the way of your digestive system, the way of your mental health, the way of your thirst as well. There's lots of things you can see as well within physical sort of things. And occasionally it's good to be able to go back, look at the energy update, see what went on in your life, and then you can see the ebbs and flows, which is really important. And once you see those ebbs and flows, that's when you can make a real difference in your life. It's the same thing with the astro flower, with the tarot reading. That's what we try and do at the astro flower. I'm not the sort of tarot reader that sort of says, oh, you're going to meet a nice, tall, dark, handsome man or a lovely figured lady next week. There is a bit of sort of saying the energy is in a position where love is easier. That's the way I sort of present it. So in the astro flower, I help people to engage with this energy, in another way. That channel is linked in the description below, like all other stuff. You can get a private reading with myself, and you can also get a healing session with myself if you so desire. There's loads of other stuff that you can investigate here with us on Cymatic TV. In the meantime, thank you very much for all your support you give to this channel. I hope you get the best out of these videos, I really do. There's all that's left for me to say is, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.